Graffiti. Is it vandalism and just tomfoolery that thugs are doing, or is it artistic expression that people can use to better represent themselves? Well, this is a really complicated conversation that I don't think I'm truly educated enough to comment on. But what I do know about is the graffiti scene in China. That's right, I've been living in China since 2020, so it's been about 3 years, and I have gotten in touch with a few different people who are big in the graffiti scene here in China, and I wanted to take a look and a deep dive into the history of graffiti in China, as well as where is it at now. So in this video, we're gonna be talking about the entire history of graffiti in China, as well as at the very end, I did a vlog like a year ago before I even made a YouTube channel. So it's a little discombobulated, but I wanted to show you what it's like to be graffitiing in China. So let's get into it. All right, so to give a quick little background on how I got involved in the graffiti scene here in China, and don't get me wrong, I'm not like a big player or anything, I just know some people. My friend Steve, also known as Art for Brains, he's a great artist, and he got connected with some graffiti artists here in Qingdao, China, where I live, and they are amazing artists. They own a building in a place called Textile Valley, which is like an art district within our city, and they have this whole building open to graffiti, which this is very weird, right? Because unless you have lived in China, you don't know. When you go downtown, you're not gonna see graffiti anywhere. It is completely clean everywhere. I have never seen graffiti in China except for a couple times in 3 years. It is that serious. I was starting to wonder why does no one graffiti in China? So according to Paul Bischoff from Comparatech, there are at the very least 415 million CCTV cameras within China as of May 2021, and that is like the minimum. It's probably way higher than that, and that really restricts the ability to tag in graffiti freely, as normally, it's illegal and you'll have to hide yourself, but with facial recognition technology and all this CCTV, it is way too risky to go about this, and the fines vary for different kinds of graffiti. Like on the Great Wall, it can cost $30 to $60 if you get caught, but it's now more than ever up to the discretion of the officer or the authority figure that catches you. How much you have to pay or what your punishment is depends solely on how that person feels that day about you, and that really dissuades a lot of people from going and trying to get into graffiti because there's nowhere to practice. And that's why the Textile Valley that I mentioned earlier in the video, who is ran by a man named Ice, that's his artist name, he runs a crew called the SDF crew. They have like 10 members, and it was like an old paper and textile processing plant, this big old building that you will see later, and basically they're gonna tear it down. And he is a police officer actually in Qingdao, and he said, hey, I don't want you to tear this down, it's a really cool building, it's very aesthetic, I want to buy this building. And eventually he bought it, and he turned it into a graffiti safe space where anyone can go as long as they're respectful and they're not covering other people's work, right? And they can practice graffiti legally. So this is just one of maybe 4 or 5 districts in China like this, and that's where I got to go visit last year. So more about kind of the punishments behind graffiti, or more about the stigma against it, I guess, is that in the Chinese language, in Mandarin, graffiti is typically referred to as tuya, and tuya can translate in English to like a child's scribbles, and man, people hate it. People hate tuya, and if anyone gets caught graffitiing, all the WeChat official channels, the Douyin, TikTok official channels, they'll be condemning this person. Look at this person, trying to shame them, post their picture, everything. So a lot of people are disillusioned against graffiti. Like I mentioned, there are some safe spaces for graffiti in China, like in Qingdao's Textile Valley, the place I'm talking about. There's also another one in Beijing called the 798 District, and even though it is a licensed place that you can do this and the owners permit it, there was an example of China's hate towards graffiti right before the 2014 APEC Economic Summit, which is a really big event that Beijing was hosting. Over 1 week's time, the government and city officials, they went through the entire city, even in these private owned places, and completely removed all of the graffiti within the city without permission. And this is covered in detail by a wonderful resource that covers graffiti within China that I suggest you guys check out if you're interested in this topic. His name is Lance Crayon. I'll put his link for this writing in the description. You guys can check him out. So this is just like an example of how hard it is to graffiti here. And what Crayon says is that like the silver age of China graffiti, the golden age was like in the 1990s, early 2000s. The silver age was like 2009 to 2013. And since then, the public image and the surveillance has improved so much. The public image has just been destroyed, and hence why you will not see graffiti in the streets in China. So it's kind of commonly accepted that graffiti first originated within China during the red letter era, which is described by, again, Lance Crayon for Spray Paint Beijing. And he explained how in 1920, the Communist Party, when it was starting to rise up in power, the people would take to red paint on walls in public areas to spread their ideology, to spread their ideas, to communicate with other people. And you can see how it has changed from the 1920s until now. Graffiti in China started with this really political way, this political undertone of spreading these ideologies of the Communist Party, and things have changed drastically, extremely drastically. And while there are still a few political expressions like in the background of artworks, you can see like ABS Crew's 2011 pig mural, it's way riskier to share your political thoughts through your artwork because of the surveillance. Of course, people can see exactly who you are doing this, and if they don't like it, you're gonna get in some trouble. So what many artists do now is they like to showcase China's extensive 3,000-year history, their culture, while steering clear of these political ideologies. But it's just so damning that these people, this art is so narrow, it's so hard to come into, it's almost impossible to get in, and it's very, very inaccessible, I guess is the correct word, unless you're living in one of these cities with one of these public places, or your parents, or you can graffiti in your house somehow, then you're not going to be able to do it and pursue that artistic passion, which is just really a shame. So even though graffiti is extremely inaccessible, it's extremely hard to get into, and it's really on life support in China, there's still a lot of hope. There's still some wonderful artists out there in the world that maybe they just haven't tried yet, and maybe they just need something to push them, or they just haven't made the right connections yet, or they're living in the wrong city. But there are still these small communities that work together to make these wonderful pieces, to open up a space for these young creatives to practice something that they're interested in. That's why the Textile Valley and SDF crew, which you'll see in the vlog right after this, why I think what they're doing is so cool, and why I wanted to make this video, even though it's a year late, it is what it is. But I think that is it. I think it's great that these people can come and celebrate and practice an art form that's really discriminated against in their country. And the fact that they can do that is really great. So if you're interested in graffiti in China, you can check out in the description. I wrote a whole blog post about this where it goes way more in depth. But in the meantime, we're gonna show you that cool little vlog I did. So if you are interested in more content like this, please let me know. We are in Qingdao, around the Huangdao area, and we're gonna be working, me and Steve, or Art for Brains. We're gonna be meeting with some graffiti artists to videotape, tag some shit, and just have a good time, make some connections. So I'm gonna be taking different shots throughout the day. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna be doing with it. I'm just gonna let it flow. But yeah, where we're at right now is absolutely beautiful though. You'll definitely see that throughout the video. But man, it's gonna be a wonderful day. So how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Good. So give us a rundown of your supplies. What do you got?
Man, I just got a few cans that's usually used for fucking skateboards and shit. For sure.
You have any ideas for what you want to do, or just going with it?
Just gonna go with it.
For sure, for sure. So in this area, you can see there's just more typical tagging, names, SIGs and stuff. But once you look here, up here, and more down there that we saw in the B-roll, it's a lot more artistic pieces, murals and things like that. Personally, this is my favorite type of style. I can't graffiti for shit, but I appreciate some really sick mural signatures. Super cool. Can zoom in on here. I mean, that's a beaut. It's beautiful. So yeah, it's cool to get out and find spaces like this that do these kind of things. Something that maybe, you know, China or Qingdao specifically isn't so known for. To find these little pockets, super, super fun. So far, everything that we've seen here is super dope. Just all across this whole area, they've been tagging, just tagging it up. It's just like you're downtown in the US, you know, you see tags all over the walls, some creative, some more profanity, but both ways is pretty dope here. I don't want to interrupt you too much. What are you going for here? What are you thinking?
I don't know, I'm gonna do a shoe and then some kind of monster.
It's your first time graffitiing? Yeah. How's it coming? You need the hang of it or what? Barely. Yeah, man. Let's take a walk. Let's see what's popping off over here on this side of the compound. So I wonder, can we see what this building originally was? I'm curious. I mean, it's locked, of course. Oh, this handle's coming off. Yeah, man, it's pretty interesting. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, condom, homie. Flip the camera here. Pretty dope. Oh, we can go up. Let's fucking do it. It's pretty sick. Where the fuck are we going? That's a question that I ask myself on the daily. But we're gonna see where this leads us. Hoping to find like a crazy cool mural that got hidden away. Oh, this is sick. Oh shit. You can see right there, the floor is falling apart a little bit. It's crazy cool in here, man.
How could I blame her? How could I blame her? And I don't blame her. I don't blame her, I don't blame her. Ay. These little thoughts keep going on while I cause she knows us. Off the tongue, she throwing on. While them fish, she going on, she going on. Ay. Yeah. She going on, she going on. Ay. Ay. She going on.
First try. First try. The whole vibe here is just crazy. If you look over my shoulder right here, there's Ice actually. He has his own mural right there. Yeah, man. The vibe here is just different, bro. Like, it's just welcoming. Yeah, I can't graffiti for shit, but they're all talking to me, seeing what's up. We got the OGs right here. But yeah, man. Just this whole area. Even there's a little kid dance contest right here. Some little babies doing their thing. But man, it's just cool to see. You know, I haven't seen this community yet. You know, I've hung out with like musicians and like digital artists and whatever in China, but not so much like the graffiti end. But it's just super cool to see these different kind of schools of art. You know, they're all around. It's just really fun to see all these different things, man. Where it's like everywhere you go, you're gonna see something. Whether it's just like tagging like this, or you see some crazy dope murals, or you know, whatever, right? But it's all throughout here. All you gotta do is really look for it. You really don't even need to look for it. But yeah, man, this place is so sick. Super fucking sick. And look right there. We got Corona.
And you can take that to the bank. What's life without the balance? Nigga, I be everywhere. You ain't even going. I thought it was snowing, but I'm just the coldest nigga out here flowing. Sick of all that bullshit, y'all.
Alright guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I think it was a pretty cool one. I thought it was pretty fun. It was fun to make. So if you're interested in more content like this, with like history, with a vlog connected, or just talking about Chinese culture instead of just expat things, please comment down below. Let me know, because if you don't comment, then I don't know what you want. And if I know what you want, I'm gonna be making it. So please comment below, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. See ya.